line graphs. Thank you. So we say we're going to plot the data that same way, right? If you look at January, January is go over on our subtitle to January and go up however far it was to 50. They had it counted by 100s. Okay, go to 50. So January, we'll plot there. Both of them plotted in the same place, right? All right, so we started talking about what we need for the graph. We needed a title. We said that. Why do we need a title? What's the purpose and point of having a title on our graph? Think about a graph. Jamaica?
To know what it's for.
To know what it's for. Without a title, we have no idea what this graph is or what's the purpose of it or any of that. Thank you. All right, what about our subtitle? So we've got a title. The title that they give this graph is new car sales. So we know that this graph is going to be about new car sales. But is that enough? What's the purpose of my subtitles? I know now it's about new car sales, but what's the purpose of my subtitles? Destiny? To explain what represents? The subtitles. And the subtitles are on, remember what we call this? The axes. Good. So the subtitles tell us the information that we need for our axes so that we know what we're looking at as we talk about new car sales. Good. So our subtitles give us more information and our title helps us know the big picture. Okay? The other very important part of a graph is equal spacing up your y-axis and equal spacing along your x-axis. So you guys, when you draw a graph, if you would like to use graph paper, that might help your lives out a little bit because the graph paper already has those equal space boxes for you. But if you do it on a piece of notebook paper, make sure this equal spacing is super huge. Very important. Without equal spacing, what would happen? Why is equal spacing important? Portia, why is equal spacing important?
I didn't raise my hand.
Well, I called on you. Why is equal spacing important?
Because you don't want anything to get out of it.
Okay, so we don't want it out of whack. Why not? Why not?
You want that you have. You want to even it out so it can be accurate.
Accurate, there you go. When I have equal spacing and I plot my points, will I be able to see the curves and lines or the trends like we talked about in science class? If I didn't have equal spacing and I've got this, and I would say, if I don't have equal spacing, 50, 100, 200, if I have a dot here, and then a dot here, and a dot here, but my spacing is off, this line is supposed to look like that. But now I've got it all out of whack, like Portia said, right? So, to help us figure out the trends, to predict what's going to happen next, we need equal spacing. We don't want scary, unequally spaced graphs. Okay? We want equal spacing. The other thing that is important, like we said up here, is to determine how much you need each space to represent, the value of each line that you give. Okay, so here, for our new car sales, every line represented 50. So go up 0, start at 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, so on. Right? Along the bottom, doesn't necessarily have to be numbers, as we see in the case on this graph on our first page. We had months. We can say January, February, March, April. Still needs to be equal spacing because it's a single month. So again, same thing. Okay? Questions on how to draw a graph. All of these pieces are going to have to be present for your graphs on your homework. Okay? So we need to make sure that we know the pieces of our graphs. If you ever have a question on that, please look at the middle of page 97. Okay? Alright, so let's look at the bottom of 97 now. Based on the following graph, example 29.1, how many more cars were sold in April than were sold in January? I need all eyes on the bottom of 97, please. So how many more cars, bottom of 97, were sold in April than were sold in January? So if we look at January and we look at April, Damon, why 300?
350.
Okay, Damon is up right now. How many were sold in April, Damon? 350?
Minus 10.
Porche, Damon is up. So 350 in April. And it says how many more cars were sold in April than were sold in January. So how many were sold in January, Damon? 50. So what do I need to do with those two numbers? Do I have it set up right? Just put the subtraction. And what am I going to get? 300. So my answer in that case would be what? 300 cars, exactly. 300 cars. Or more cars is the way your book puts it. Okay? Example 29.2. The daily high temperatures recorded during the week were as follows. Monday was 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Tuesday, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Wednesday, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Thursday, 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Friday, 88 degrees Fahrenheit. And Saturday, 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunday, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Make a bar graph and a broken line graph that present this information. Okay? So if that asks for both of those pieces, you need to give me both of those pieces. Make sure we follow the directions and answer every part of every question, okay? So, if we look at the book, they've got the spacing. One of the things that you can keep in mind is that your axes don't necessarily have to start at 0. What does the graph start, what does the y-axis start with in the graph that they gave us an example of here? What does the y-axis start with? Where does it start? It doesn't start at 0, like we said before. Make sure we raise our hands. We're still expectations here. In that graph that they draw, they've given it the title. What's the title of our graph here? Let's rewind to that real quick. What's the title of our graph? If we were doing example 29.2 as a homework problem, Tamika, what would we put it to? Okay, that was the graph on the first page. We're doing example 29.2 now. So we need to figure out what we're looking at. Daily high temperatures. Good. So we're going to put at the top our daily high temps. Okay? What about on my two axes for my subtitles? What am I going to want? Somebody else besides Jamaica. What do I want for my subtitles on this graph? What do I want for my subtitles? Make sure we're following the rules. Destiny? Okay, do you want that up the Y or up down the X? Days on the X. Okay. And what on the Y? Temperature. Okay. Okay, one little key, as you guys can see in your book, the temperature, we're given temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. So just to make sure that everyone understands that, to put it over in your subtitle is necessary information. Okay? And then we need to figure out our equal spacing, how we want to label our tick marks, our spacing. So this is where we were before. We said we don't have to start at 0 every time. This doesn't have to mean 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. We can say whatever we want to as long as we equally space it and the numbers make sense. So where do they start in their graph? Where does their y number start counting? Not at 0, but at, eyes on the book please, not on the back. Figure out what it's asking us. Where does it start? Not at 0, but at what on the y-axis? And number 2, rule number 2. Where does my y start? We said normally we would start at 0, but we don't have to. We need to figure out the best place to start based on the information that we're trying to graph. So this graph that they've shown us doesn't start at 0, it starts where? Raise it up high. starts at 70. And rather than count by ones or by twos, what does it count by? Come on. Tens. I've got a little more space here. Should we make ours a little bit different? What would you maybe want to count ours by?
5.
Like I can. We're still practicing that. Destiny? 5s, I like that. So let's give this one 80, 90, 100. So each space in between is 5. Okay? Alright, so we've got our y-axis taken care of. Now we need to figure out days. Let's just add some extra days in. Still equal spacing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, Damon? You want to start with Sunday? Beautiful. Alright? Now, your job is to plot those points, right? So on Monday, it's 86 degrees F. 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So I need to go and I need to find Monday. There's Monday. So Monday, we're going to go up from Monday. And we need to figure out where 86 degrees across touches my dotted Monday line. So I've got 75, 80, 85, 90. Where's it going to go? Raise your hand for me. Where's it going to go here? Jimmy, guys, up here, please. Trying to plot 86. Monday, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Come on. Top above the 85, right? If we split this into little ones, we could go over. So, about right there. I don't need this dotted line, so let's just erase it for the sake of numbers, okay? So Monday, we've plotted. Tuesday, we need to plot Tuesday, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So somebody besides Damon, plot for me Tuesday, 80 degrees Fahrenheit.
Tuesday.
Portia?
Tuesday, okay. So we're going to go to Tuesday line.
Tuesday line, okay.
You want to play top way?
Tuesday is 80 degrees.
Okay. So you need it below the 85.
Below the 85. So right about here. Yeah, does that look like 80?
Yeah.
Do you have a line for 80?
No. Oh, yes, I do.
Yes,
Go
you do.
down.
Okay, so we need to look where they intersect. Good. And obviously my lines aren't straight, but we need to make yours as straight as you possibly can, okay?
They want to draw on you. They don't want to draw some graphs.
We are going to have to draw graphs, yes. You're going to have to practice what we're doing right now. That's why we're practicing together. Okay? So Wednesday, it tells us 75 degrees. Destiny? Wednesday, 75. Okay? Thursday, 82 degrees. Thursday, 82 degrees. Come on.
Don't go.
Thursday? Top of, how far? Top of 80, so 80 is about there. So 82. Good. Okay. Alright. Thursday, 82. We took care of Friday, 88. Come on. Okay, so we're going to start. Friday. We're always going to start finding our X. So Friday, go up to right about there. Friday, 88. Good. Perfect. 88. So follow it across. Friday up. Beautiful. And Saturday, 74 degrees. So Saturday, 75. It's going to be below that. So 74. And then we put Sunday over here. We started with the first day of the week, so that's okay. Sunday is 84. So Sunday, over here, 84. And it tells us to make a bar graph and a broken line graph. Okay, so your bar graph, you're going to take your pencil and fill in up to that dot for each little one. Fill in up to the dot. a broken line graph, what am I going to do? I got to connect the dots, okay? So, connecting the dots would mean here to here to here to here to here to here, okay? Raise your hand, make sure we're all the directions, okay? So, the other kind of graph that we've got is a pie graph. Okay, and you guys all love pie, so we're going to draw a circle. That's our pie, or pizza. Pie graph's pizza, okay? For pie graphs, all right, we have to figure out the percentages. It's going to be broken down in percentages. Every pie graph is going to be a total of how much percent?
Oh, 100.
100%. Thank you, Portia. All right, so it's a total of 100%. So based on the following pie graph, how much more money did Juan spend on meats, fruits, vegetables, breads, and dairy products than on entertainment and junk food? So how are we going to have to start looking at that pie graph? Well, we always know that when you cut a pie, you start at the middle and you cut out little slices. And we can figure out, by looking at it, how much each little slice is worth. It's going to tell us. This one might be like $10 on meats. If we use some of the same classifications, okay? That was 10, so this might be $3 for fruit. Okay? Whatever kind of information you're given, you can fill in. I'm just making stuff up for this one. Okay? You can fill in a pie chart. So now our job is to look at that pie chart, the pie graph, and figure out what it's asking us. So it asks how much more did he spend on meats, fruits, vegetables, breads, and dairy products. So we know off the bat, what are we going to have to start with for this example? How do we start? It asks us how much more did Juan spend on meats, fruits, vegetables, breads, and dairy products than on something else. So what do we need to do? Come on. Got to add up what? What he had. Okay, so start us off. Go for it. Meat, how much? 10 what? $10. Then what? Fruits, $5. What else? Veggies, $17. Bread, $2.
Miss Rawlson, can I use your phone real quick to call my husband?
Absolutely.
I'm just getting a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Excuse me? Yeah, I'm trying. Are you calling him already?
I don't think
Call him. Just do it for me. Okay, thank you. I'm on 2 cell phones, me. I'm sorry.
All right, so 10, 5, 17, 2 is bread.
You're going to hear me talking to him.
What else? What else is left? Do we have everything we need? Dairy products. So Demond, how much for dairy products? 8. Good. And then you said we need to do what with those numbers? Add them up. These two together. 10,
12,
15, 20, plus 17. So,
that's 12.
combine. I know. 8 plus 2? Right, this. But I did this first. 20. 25. Mrs. Rawlson messed up. 25 plus 17 is what? Come on, said 12. 4. So, $42. Right? So we spent $42 on the first set of stuff that we were talking about. And it asks, how much more did he spend on all this stuff than he spent on entertainment and junk food? So now we need to figure out what? You need to raise your hand, Jamika. What do we do next?
Oh,
Hand. Yep. Come on. What number down there? $42 where? Adding it all up, let's just erase everything but 42. What do I do next? Subtract what? Subtract 42 from what?
8.
From 8. I want to take 8 minus 42. The other way.
I apologize.
So
I don't know how to use your
subtract-
phone. I'm so sorry. Can you call my husband back? He just tried to call me again. I don't know how to use your phone. That's not the
Oh, that's
phone number.
Jeff.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I don't even know what to do. The Samsung. I'm too old for this stuff. Call it.
Yeah, Colin.
I'm so sorry, okay.
Okay, 42. Come on, where did 8 come from? Yeah, but where did you get it from? You gotta tell me where you got it from. How did you figure it out in the pie? How did you figure it out in the pie? I need you to tell me how you figured it out in the pie.
How you did.
Or Shay.
You need help.
Ladies. Hands to tell.
You gotta add 5.
Why 5 plus 3?
Cause you gotta change your
There, enter. Say it again. Come on. What is it? You do know that word. Tamika, stop. Keep that mouth shut. I know, but you need to practice keeping your mouth shut. What do you see there? We've said that word a few times. Sound it out. Entertainment. So he spent $5 on entertainment. Now, how much on junk food? $3. So he spent how much total on those two? $8. So what do I need to do with 42? Subtract it from 8. So 8 minus 42, like we have before.
No, not that great.
Gotta make sure we say it right. 8 from 42, there it is. 8 from 42, and that gives us what? Carrie? So 30 what? 12 minus 8, 4. $34. So he spent $34 more on all that stuff we talked about first, than on the entertainment and the junk food. Okay, so you guys have a practice. Only A this time, so do your practice A. We'll go from there. Do you have a question about the lesson? Okay, 1 second.